All right, let me send out this link real quick. Let a few people come in. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we're back with part 2. Whoa, hold up. Are we getting super chats, bro? No, you guys didn't really. You guys didn't really, bro. Did you really do the super chat, though? For all your time, thank you. I appreciate you, Eddie GG. Thank you, and Fisher Painting, man. I appreciate y'all, for real. Thank you, man. We're about to sit back and relax. So hopefully you grabbed your brewskis or whatever your, you know what I mean, your drink, your water. I got my water right here. Cheers to the fam. I gotta be careful. It's very full water. So I got my water right here. Cheers to the fam. And we're gonna be enjoying part 2. So if you missed it, I did a documentary or a reaction of the documentary of the first one where they talked about GameStop. I haven't watched any of this one before I watched the first one. I watched bits and parts of it. I haven't watched any of this one yet. So this is going to be brand new for me. Really appreciate the super chats. It's actually wild. Did not expect that at all. Let's go ahead and hop right in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. If you catch me on the replay, hit that like button. I appreciate anybody who's watching this. Let's go ahead and check out part 2. Let me just make sure those links are shared. And we will hop right in. We'll hop right in. All right. Let me just share one more link, y'all. Bear with me. I do apologize. It's movie time with Adizi and the fam. All right, so let's go ahead and pop that on there. All right, let's go.
I've seen so many tweets talking about how like we're the flat earthers of the investing world and like all that, but you're crazy until you're not. And that's true of like pretty much everything in life.
This is Egg Loserboy, someone I've befriended over the last few months. He's been telling me about a company he's invested his money into, a company that goes by the name of Bed Bath & Beyond.
I'm going to make a good amount of money off of this, whether it's like 3 million or less or 20 million or more. I don't know.
There's just one problem. The company doesn't exist anymore. In the first part of this series, I discovered a community that had been dedicated to buying shares in a company most people thought was dying, GameStop. They had a particular infatuation with one individual.
Ryan Cohen is taking over as GameStop CEO.
Mean King Ryan Cohen.
Ryan Cohen, if you hear me, you're fucking amazing.
I thought that was the end of my investigation. I was ready to walk away. But then I discovered another community dedicated to investing into a collapsing home goods store known as Bed Bath & Beyond. Except this time, I was warned.
The Bed Bath & Beyond community are the most insane.
These people need help.
Wow, you guys are wild sending the supers. You guys are insane. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear. I just want to make sure the levels are good. Some people said they couldn't hear me last time. So I'm just trying to make sure the levels are good. And I really appreciate the super chat. You guys are wild. Drop a like too, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are crazy. Yo. What is happening?
And you cannot help them.
I was only scratching the
Thank you.
surface of just how far this can go.
I invested my life savings in this because I got excited.
Just buy Bed Bath & Beyond.
They're going to perceive you as an enemy.
They put up my home address. He said, I'm home alone, come visit me.
Ryan Cohen, as far as I'm concerned, rug pulled everybody.
He published these children's books. In my opinion, they're not written for children.
He made money, and everyone who followed him lost their ass.
Chief Financial Officer died by suicide.
Show me a proof that he died.
We're getting to a point where there could be suicides associated with this.
I would like to give a toast to the most fucking greatest community ever.
We got all new music, by the way, for the live stream. We got all new music for the live stream. Make sure you guys tune in Monday, and then tune in for the weekly outlook and prediction here on Sunday, where I go over everything for the week. All right, let's dive in.
Your personal information can most likely be accessed online this very second, and have supporting him and many others. Happens when someone like Ryan, ever since making videos and even bigger and better documentaries. That being said, please enjoy the rest of the video.
Let's go. Thanks for the supers, y'all. Thank you.
Ryan Cohen. Ever since the mania of 2021, GameStop investors had been closely watching his actions. Whatever he did, he would have an army of people supporting his moves. So here's a question. What happens when someone like Ryan Cohen buys into a new company?
I just had a feeling Bed Bath & Beyond was going to pop. So I thought that Ryan Cohen was involved. I thought he was going to, take this somewhere.
Brandon was just one example of someone who trusted Ryan Cohen. To him and many others, they saw Cohen's actions as part of a grander, overarching plan. That was before it all went wrong. On March the 6th, 2022, whilst he's still a chairman for the board of GameStop, Ryan Cohen announces in a letter that he has purchased a 9.8% stake in a new company, Bed Bath & Beyond, a struggling, heavily shorted home goods retailer with falling revenue.
Cheers, fam.
Bed Bath & Beyond's shares were represented through its ticker symbol, BBBY. So whenever you hear BBBY, think Bed Bath & Beyond. In his letter, he offered several strategies for the company to try and turn itself around. He had done this.
Make sure you guys grab your brews, your waters and stuff. What up, Sengal?
This exact same thing
Roy
with GameStop 2 years prior. He was attempting to swoop in and save a dying company. As you can imagine, to those who are watching his actions closely, it caused quite a stir.
Ryan Cohen had invested more into Bed Bath & Beyond than he had invested initially into GameStop.
Hodgins invested much of his savings into GameStop. After learning about Cohen's investment in Bed Bath, he also decided to follow suit.
I found that quite compelling because I thought, hey, here's a guy who has all the access to the information. He believes there's an opportunity with Bed Bath & Beyond.
Why don't they show their faces? This is like the 8th guy who hasn't shown his face.
My story with Bed Bath & Beyond
Cheers, Kai Supreme.
started with when Ryan Cohen bought a little bit of it.
It's Ryan Cohen. I believe in Ryan Cohen. I believe that he has been raised by his father the right way.
And I thought, wow, this
Plot
could be the
twist,
next
Jarhead
GameStop.
is
Bed Bath &
Moran's
Beyond
rants.
surging today after Ryan Cohen revealed a big stake in the...
Plot twist, Jarhead, the guy that blurs his face out, is Moran's rants. Everyone's scared to show their face in this documentaries. It's weird.
company.
It wasn't just GameStop investors who jumped into this new investment, however.
My name is Afif Akrabawi, and my friends and those in the Reddit communities, they know me by my initials, AJ. I work at MIT, I have a PhD in neuroscience, and I'm extremely bullish on Bed Bath & Beyond.
AJ told me that he had invested his life savings into Bed Bath & Beyond.
I never invested in GME. I felt that the ship had sailed without me. But some time had passed, and I happened to hear about Ryan Cohen and make his investment into Bed Bath & Beyond.
This was like a tailor-made opportunity for Ryan Cohen, a heavily shorted brick-and-mortar company struggling to adapt in the digital age, straight from the GameStop playbook. The excitement and the influx of new retail investors pushed up the stock price of Bed Bath & Beyond. A whole new cohort of Bed Bath & Beyond investors were emerging. Soon, they began to congregate on a subreddit named after the stock's ticker symbol, r/BBBY.
And that's when I started getting sort of deep into the play, probably focusing more on Bed Bath & Beyond than I ever did on GameStop and Superstock.
I think it flew to begin with when he first bought in.
We're not seeing things here, folks. Bed Bath & Beyond shares up 90%.
But this wasn't GameStop.
And then it started dropping.
Bed Bath & Beyond was struggling in more serious ways than GameStop was. I mean, we're talking serious losses, racking up debt, closing down stores. Whilst Cohen had suggestions, his experience didn't seem as much of a fit here. Soon, the stock price began to plummet.
Sales for Bed Bath & Beyond are currently running at down 20%.
This is starting to look real scary.
Amid all the panicked news and slowing stock, Cohen seemed unfazed. On August 12th of that year, CNBC reported the stock was predicted to hit $1 per share. Cohen replied to that article on Twitter saying, "At least her car is full," followed by an emoji of a smiling moon face.
That signaled to a lot of shareholders that, you know, he has our, you know, best interests in mind.
And then something interesting happened. August the 15th, 2022. Cohen has a filing released that shows that he still retains his stake in the company. To Bed Bath investors, that filing showed that even after Bed Bath had been revealed to be struggling, Ryan Cohen, the man who all these investors followed, continued to believe in the company. I mean, not long after that filing was released, the share price started to soar.
Kind of made it look like he was still really involved or going to be buying more. And that's what really made the stock fly that particular week. So yeah, I guess I did believe it was going to mow ass, so to speak.
Over the last 3 days,
BBBY had crazy gains.
135%.
From starting the month at $5, by mid-August of 2022, the Bed Bath shares sailed past the $20 mark. Then the $25 mark.
I thought that it was...
BBBY had crazy gains. I obviously I can't find the chart because it's delisted, but yeah, BBBY had crazy gains, man. Crazy.
Go up more.
It was up 400% from where it was at the start of the month.
Woo.
And then what happens when something challenges your beliefs about the world?
Ryan Cohen of RC Ventures now has a stake of 0% in Bed Bath & Beyond, indicating that he did in fact sell. You can see shares down about 20%.
Do you adapt?
I mean, I saw what Ryan Cohen did, and
time to sell.
I just think that he pump and dump Bed Bath & Beyond at this point.
Or does the world?
And then there was like,
bro, but you could have made money off that. Like, he literally sold and announced it. Sell. Take profit. I don't know. Just my thought. I could be wrong.
2 days after the release of Cohen's filings, he sold his entire position in the company, right as the share price was at its peak.
The biggest loser right now, Bed Bath & Beyond.
It was the peak because, I'm not trying to give Ryan Cohen an out, but it was the peak because he sold.
Down 41%.
He made around $60 million, almost doubling what he put in. The news was devastating. It sent the share price into free fall.
A lot of people, they started talking about how they put in their life savings near the top and watched it all evaporate, and they're still holding their shares and they're panicking. And
it's sort of a shame for me to say, but I took out loans to invest on it, which I think...
That's what I said in the first one. Never over leverage. That's kind of why I started my channel, because I was like, people are wilding too much. Never over leverage yourself. Never take out loans, and especially for risky things like that.
A lot of members of the community stupidly thinking that, you know, Ryan Cohen is gonna, you know, blow this stuff up.
In the weeks following Cohen's sale, more news came out about the company. They had been struggling to pay suppliers, defaulting on their debts. So some started to theorize that Cohen knew the company was failing and used his filing and his tweets to deliberately pump a worthless stock and dump it for a profit.
I think that he knows what he's doing. I think he uses people. I think that what he did with Bed Bath & Beyond was an absolute pump and dump.
In the wake of Cohen's sale, some shareholders decided to file a lawsuit against him, alleging that he had deliberately misled shareholders in order to pump up the stock and dump it on them. Remember this tweet?
He also happened to include a smiley face emoji, a moon emoji actually. And that signaled to a lot of shareholders that, you know, he has our...
A 400% gain is the moon. It's a pretty good gain. I mean, I'm not trying to... He definitely knows what he's doing, but at the same time, you could have made some money.
You know, best interest in mind.
Cheers to anyone watching right now.
Had a history of reading into Cohen's tweets for secret messages, and the Bed Bath community was no different.
And only occasionally does he communicate through cryptic tweets to what he considers his loyal followers.
I think that's his way of communicating, right? Without being, how do I say this, mishandled by the MSM.
The theory that he is communicating using tweets with emojis is, in my professional opinion, bonkers.
In order for the tweet to be considered part of a pump and dump, it needed to be seen as something that could mislead the reasonable investor. And yet, I couldn't help but wonder, maybe what the courts consider a reasonable investor isn't who's most impacted by this.
You know, he came up $70 million and all of us lost.
Maybe there are thousands of retail investors for whom a moon emoji is an important piece of information.
Ryan usually tweets things that we discover meaning for later on, right?
And then the question becomes,
what's up, Whimsy?
Does Cohen know that? Ryan Cohen, a man who, for whatever reason...
Is this one gonna make me mad, Whimsy, or not? Tell me. We still have like 45 minutes left. Is it gonna make me mad? And shout out anyone watching right now. I appreciate y'all. Cheers.
Many in this community viewed as a heroic...
Let me know if you guys like this type of content or if you hate it.
...figure. Now some viewed him as their betrayer.
After a week, I was like, no, this has all been BS the entire time, and I sold it all.
What I found the most fascinating, though, were not those who chose to leave the community in the wake of Cohen's exit, but those who...
Why the super chat, bro? Thank you. Why? I appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys. And what up, Trey? What's up? Welcome to the show.
To stay.
What is, I guess, what's keeping people in? Because as far as I can see with Bed Bath, this is just a failing company.
I had bought...
well, he's still in.
Is it to your understanding that Ryan Cohen is still somewhat involved in the company, or...
Hey, that's
absolutely.
What you got to do as a trader, man. Cut your losses quick.
To me, it's not even conspiracy.
We thought, okay, this is probably part of his strategy.
There was a lot of denial where people believed that he could still be involved.
I never wavered in my conviction. In fact, I bought more that day.
And that was when I started to realize this isn't the end. This was just beginning.
What was the Bed Bath & Beyond community's reaction to seeing Ryan Cohen sell?
I think AMC
I felt
videos
bad
next.
for the apes for a split second.
There were those people who initially were like, oh, we got screwed. He left us holding the bag. Of course, those people left almost immediately, which left those who wanted to continue with the narrative that they were going to get rich.
They didn't want to believe in it, and they still don't believe in it.
So they had to contend with that and come up with a narrative reason that he would have sold, but not sold.
This is Hannah Reloaded, a streamer who explores...
I dislike this Hannah girl so much. 14.6K. I just like this Hannah girl, man. She's a Karen, dude.
Like communities, conspiracy theories, and in her own words,
why people believe strange things that seem to not be true.
And this...
Why do you care? Hannah, if you ever see this clip or this video, reach out to me. DataZero, my email's in the description. Hannah, reach out to me. And this guy, scared to show his face,
is Simple Vice.
My name is Simple Vice on Reddit, and I'm a GME Meltdowner.
Both are members of the GME Meltdown community, a group initially created to mock the GameStop investor community, but which has, in the wake of recent events, also shifted its focus to Bed Bath & Beyond.
When the apes have a theory, it's usually debunked in the GME Meltdown, and it's being debunked by people that are way smarter than the people in other communities.
I think a lot...
That sounded so dumb. It's being debunked by people that are way smarter. Bro, I'm gonna join that subreddit. A
lot of people thought that Cohen's sale would mark the end of the Bed Bath & Beyond
looking for
community.
it right now.
The truth, however, was the complete opposite.
What is it, GME Meltdown?
Fellas, how the fuck you doing tonight? It's great to see you guys. Thank you for joining me on the PP Show, man, where we love talking about all things related to Bed Bath & Beyond.
There's a channel called the PP Show on YouTube, and it's where we learn to kind of...
Shills on payroll. I'm joining it right now.
Congregate,
Congregate, that's the word.
So I just joined it, if you can see that. I don't know.
Every weekday, and talk about the stock for 3 hours.
Yeah, basically the TLDR is Ryan Cohen's part of the company.
It was a show named after its host, PP Seeds.
Talking about...
So I just joined the Reddit. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but 100% joined it. GME Meltdown.
The goddamn stock that we all...
It says shills are on payroll.
All love, man. So welcome to the show tonight. It's great.
I mean, I don't think I know a single Bed Bath & Beyond investor who didn't tune in every night.
In the wake of Cohen's sale, the community was fragmented.
Who was suing Ryan Cohen? It was like random fucking people. There was even someone that was like out of the country who was suing him.
The PP Show became this space to support each other and to share ideas.
Chat, please give a warm welcome, man,
Stay
to
hydrated.
Michael, how you doing, man? Great to see you tonight.
Great to see you. I'm doing fantastic. I'm Michael. I am a recent medical graduate and have been involved. I'm usually a regular on the PP Show. I don't know, kind of come to love like the community, around it.
Keep in mind, I am not an expert, nor am I a professional advisor.
Soon, more members of the community had the space to come forward and connect with one another.
I'm Egg Loser Boy. I got into play Christmas Day, actually, of 2022. It's been a wild fucking few months, that's for sure. You care if I swear, by the way?
The Bed Bath community believed that Cohen hadn't abandoned them.
We're constantly absorbing new facts and trying to put together the image that Ryan Cohen has in his mind.
They believed that he was working behind the scenes on a bigger plan.
That really set the tone for the Bed Bath community moving forward, was the abject denial of reality.
They still think that he runs the company from the shadows.
To prove he was still involved, Bed Bath investors pointed to various things. Take 6th Street, for example.
4 business days after Ryan Cohen sells his shares, we get news about 6th Street providing a $375 million loan.
He sold, and literally days later, 6th Street.
Yes, Andrew, I am live. We were live earlier too. What up, Steven?
It came in, who's a specialty financing company. They literally invest for other people.
Anytime I heard the word 6th Street going forward from that point of view, I was thinking Ryan Cohen.
Then there were the Teddy trademarks.
He also, that same very morning, filed...
Hold on, Steven. If you start talking like that, they'll call you a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Series of trademarks for a company called Teddy.
Maybe he's buying all of these, like, trademarks, just for the
like
intention
26,
of,
I
like,
appreciate
I'm going
it.
to buy the entire company
people
and
in the
then
building, I did not
rename
expect
it
that
into
at all.
Teddy.
So the theory was that Ryan Cohen was going to acquire Bed Bath & Beyond through 6th Street and relaunch it entirely as a new company called Teddy. And this
Make sure you guys grab your brews, your drinks. This is water, but grab your brews, your tea, and enjoy the show. And enjoy the show with the fam. You know what I mean? We're just chilling. good weekend little live stream. Maybe more to come. Let me know if you guys like this or hate it. Let me know. If you like it, I might do this on the weekend more often.
Happen through a process known as a reverse merger, when a private company acquires a public company. And of course, all of this would end up giving the Bed Bath & Beyond investors a large payout.
If 10% of like what I'm saying is true, all of us will be wildly rich.
It would still be disclosed if a company that Ryan Cohen is involved with lends money to Bed Bath & Beyond. That's not to say it's impossible for him to have been involved, but again, it's something that should be disclosed.
I think there was a lot of denial where people believed that he could still be involved, and if people weren't put off from the community and left at that point, then they were probably in my position, which is where they'd drunk the Kool-Aid and they were about to go deep into this stock.
Bed Bath investors would continue sharing theories on Twitter and Reddit. They would look at Ryan Cohen's tweets, for example, for hidden messages and clues. And then they started looking at children's books too.
Ryan Cohen, where did I put that? There it is. Ryan Cohen decided in his free time as a rich guy, I'm going to write children's books that basically teach kids about capitalism and finance and stuff, whatever. It's generic nonsense, in my opinion.
They were the Teddy series, launching on
I do want to say teaching kids about finance is extremely important. That lady is just, I think she's just miserable. I think that lady's just miserable, honestly. She puts off the vibe that she just doesn't like anything at all.
Teddy.com. What do you know of the Teddy books and how they feature in all of this?
So the theory is Ryan Cohen is writing children books where he's putting clues for apes to find so they can understand what he's doing behind.
The point of a reaction is to react.
The scenes for BPPY.
We were all grown men and women. We're like reading these children books together on the PP show and trying to decipher what is Ryan Cohen trying to tell us. You know, what is the master strategy?
I'll just read the back since it's small. It says Princeton and Kingston start their first business, a corn stand, because the story is pretty disjuncted the way, like if you read it. But then when you see, oh, he's just trying to reference this specific financial thing, like
they thought he was telling GameStop people to buy into Bed Bath & Beyond, and you can tell that because there's socks that are the colors of different things.
Because I've heard interesting remarks from people in the Bed Bath community around the idea of like Ryan Cohen communicating through like books and tweets.
I believe that's like true.
We're just levels and levels deep in the psychosis at this point.
Yeah, we shouldn't be trying to look into tweets. So I do say that. And bro said, M. Freeman said, don't talk during a reaction. That's the whole point. You can watch a video by yourself, bro. But we're watching it here with the fam, and I'm giving my point of view here. Sorry, man, if you don't like it.
I have lost my mind.
I'm listening to myself now, and I'm like, you sound crazy, right? But I don't feel crazy because a lot of the tinfoil that came from those Teddy books actually manifested later on.
Some of the pages were interpreted as Cohen telling the investors he knew what was going on and to reassure them their payout was coming.
What the fuck?
I've been
that last
refreshing
one said Teddy grows trees, man. That's a PP Seeds reference, man. What the fuck?
Ryan Cohen left them holding bags, and everything since then has been an ever-growing narrative to cope and try and deny that fact.
Theories and
her teeth are crazy.
Research in the community would be known as due diligence, usually just shortened to DD. And there were many different theories.
I'm the one that connected that there is a heavy congruence, if you will, of Orthodox Jews behind the scenes in this play. For example, you have Carl Icahn, you have Ryan.
Whatever people's reasons, many in the Bed Bath community had found something to keep their faith, that Cohen was still involved, that there could be a merger, that this could pay off and enrich them all.
The 5,000 or so holders of Bed Bath & Beyond are going to represent a new generation of millionaires.
The only sign they needed now was from the company itself.
They told us that there's going to be some kind of announcement on August 31st. It was that August 31st press briefing that
it's all how you play the game, bro. It's all how you play the game. AMC did me nice, to be honest. I made way more money than I lost. Way more money. I have nothing but free shares and made a bag twice.
Company promised to hold that kept me holding my stock.
On August 31st, Bed Bath announced layoffs of 20%.
Made a bag back in 2020 and 2021 and made a bag recently on AMC. It's all how you play it, man.
Of its workforce. With Cohen's sale, reports of fallen revenues, and now this, things were looking bad.
New York City medical examiners investigating the death of a Bed Bath & Beyond executive. Chief Financial Officer Gustavo Arnal died on Friday after falling from his high-rise apartment just days after the troubled retail chain announced it is closing stores and laying off workers.
On the 2nd of September 2022, Bed Bath & Beyond's Chief Financial Officer Gustavo Arnal jumped to his death from his residence in New York's Tribeca building. In the midst of the company's turmoil, this was a devastating omen. But somehow, the community still held on. They kept looking for answers. One among them, Kais Malej, was willing to go the extra step to get it.
Yeah, Kais is a figure who kind of built himself a platform very early on in the saga.
Bed Bath & Beyond, the best company in the world. The best company in the world.
And I think that his love for Ryan Cohen really brushed off on all of us.
He's amazing. I mean, every tweet is an encyclopedia.
Bed Bath & Beyond, the CFO committed suicide, and Kais Malej was convinced that he never died. He went to the apartment building where Gustavo Arnaldo, I think is his name, committed suicide, which is where he lived.
Happy Thanksgiving. How are you, sir?
All right, that's getting a little bit crazy. If any of you guys are doing this, yes, that's bad. If anyone's doing stuff like this is bad. There's definitely a point where, yeah, this looks but this is definitely a hit piece, y'all. Timing is strange because GME and AMC just ran. We have to remember that.
Dropping off or are you visiting? Yeah, I'm dropping off.
Okay. And goes up to the doorman and like basically asks to see him.
Gustavo Arnal.
They don't live here anymore.
Really? They moved? I heard this, they faked his death.
Oh, that I don't know anything about that. I can't accept that they don't live here anymore.
Is it true that they faked his death? Huh?
Man, you gotta get off the internet, bro.
Some left the community at this point, but just like before, others persisted.
There's sort of a distillation effect. The overall level of delusion in the community.
Her teeth are crazy. This girl's miserable.
Increases because the less delusional people left.
Does you work here? You work here? Yes. You like it? Yeah. It's good, right? It's got a big, good, huge company.
He was like the crazy uncle you have, you know, where you have this guy who dares enough to piss on CNBC's street, go around yelling at reporters.
B-B-B-B-Y, 3 B's and Y.
Kais Malej, the person who is a motivated lunatic who trespasses, impersonates people, stalks CEOs from outside their windows.
We do have King Kaz calling us on the phone. Let's put him on the PP show and let's see what's going on tonight. Kaz, what's going on?
Hey, PP, how are you?
In November 2022, Kais used information online to pose as Ryan Cohen over the phone with hospital staff in an attempt to access the due date for his pregnant wife.
My name is Ryan Cohen. So the first time we were excited to see our baby on a sonogram was on
a lot of people did get hurt, John. That's true. And I've heard stories. It's sad. It's sad. The stock market's a zero-sum game, man, because there's winners and losers. And a lot of people got sucked into the stock market around that time of the C flu. And because a lot of people were put in bad positions, you know, they lost their jobs, things were shut down. They gave us that money. I mean, they you know, I want to say that it was orchestrated. Some people may say that's crazy, but they put a squeeze on us, and some of the smarter people tried to make money in the stock market, and in the stock market, there's winners and losers. And unfortunately, when you're new in the game, you're most likely going to be a loser. Some people did get lucky, though. And some people that were more experienced in the stock market at that time definitely knew what they were doing.
April 3rd, 2022. We are a bit confused. When is the approximate due date?
Okay, I can check to see when your wife would be due. What's her date of birth?
I think that at certain times he can do some hurtful things to many of us in the community, but at the end of the day, you know, I can see that he's a kind man. He has a vision, the same vision that Ryan Cohen, the same vision that we all have.
Over the course of the next few months, Bed Bath began closing down stores. By the start of 2023, things were looking tough.
Bed Bath & Beyond shares are plummeting as the company warns of deeper financial troubles ahead in a business update.
We're trying to just stay afloat, right? We're getting screwed every day. We have to justify another 10% drop to my wife specifically.
Bed Bath & Beyond is not going bankrupt.
It can go bankrupt, okay? But I do not believe it's going to end up going bankrupt, in my personal opinion, okay?
By late March, the stock dropped below $1.
I interviewed with him a couple times, and he called me out to say, Marantz, leave it to the professionals.
Why do you hate this company so much?
If you brought me in here just to start attacking me, that'd be great.
Clearly, you fucking hate the company. You love talking about me all day long.
This,
so.
right?
When I was saying Bed Bath & Beyond's going to go bankrupt.
You constantly say it's going bankrupt. You constantly want...
It's going bankrupt. You're at 30 cents, bro.
But the community remained as strong as ever.
I was very much still engaged with the
community. Didn't it have a huge squeeze from 30 cents though? But then it did get smashed.
And if anything, I actually think I was more invested at that time.
You can't blame me for the money you've lost. Just like you tell people who invest and they lose money, how would you like if they blamed you, PP, that their Bed Bath & Beyond investment is down?
People can make their own financial decisions.
Exactly.
Just because we come on the show and we talk about it,
make their own choices to work there.
And I was watching and contributing to the PP show every night.
I ended up investing like a lot more money because I didn't think it'd go into bankruptcy. I didn't think it'd dip this hard, like as hard as it did.
After months of warnings, Bed Bath & Beyond filed for bankruptcy yesterday. Stores will likely all be closing.
On April 23rd, 2023, Bed Bath & Beyond filed for bankruptcy.
I never heard of the PP show.
Expected. We all saw the writing on the wall.
So when it went bankrupt, I was like, oh, thank God. I'm not the crazy one.
It's because we...
Oh, so she kind of admitted she was scared it would squeeze?
We all thought bankruptcy wouldn't happen, and it did. It really forces...
She's like, oh, thank God it went bankrupt. Because what if it squeezed? I'd be crazy.
You to reevaluate, you know, the preconceived notions you have.
We all believe.
I never heard of the PP show. PP definitely made his bag. Criminal how he did it. How did he do it? What'd he do? The last video criticized people for like making YouTubes, but like every YouTuber does what they said. Like every YouTuber does merch or like gets donations or whatever. Like that's every YouTuber.
That there was no way this was going bankrupt. It was a bad outcome.
I just keep thinking I'm gonna lose all my money.
The first thing that I did was I tuned into the PP show because that's where everyone else is tuning in.
What is the PP
What I see
show?
is everyone panicking.
They weren't
11,000 subscribers. BBBY live stream.
Forced into bankruptcy. Okay, that's a very important part. They voluntarily did it. And again, you have to...
This is actually where I first made my introduction, where I first made myself public to the community.
Chat, welcome AJ to the show.
What's going on, PP?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I have 60,000.
60,000 shares with an average of what?
$2.50.
That's not bad. That's not bad from 14.
I was pissed. I was pissed at everyone. I was pissed at everything. I was pissed at the fact that I'm still holding the stock that I was supposed to sell within a week or two of buying, and you know I was pissed that maybe this whole Teddy idea that we're thinking about wasn't going to happen. And I decided to hop on the show and tell everyone my story. So I'm a scientist. I work with data all the time. I study charts. Basically, that's my entire life. I saw people who were bullish during that period, who had no problem watching their stock price fall, all of a sudden have doubts about everything, right? You have to understand, like, this thing has been planned for over a year. Okay, I think so. Everything we are seeing is theater. Having doubts about Ryan Cohen, having doubts about, whether or not they want to hold through the bankruptcy. I don't think Ryan Cohen would come in He knows he has this loyal fan base. He knows we make memes about him. This guy is not going to throw his entire reputation. I was pissed because I didn't want this opportunity to escape me. I recognize I'm down fucking bad. For me to break even, this thing needs to what, 20x? 20x from where we are now? I'm not worried. I'm not worried. The shift happened during that episode because I started thinking about the consequences of a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. What would it entail, right? 5 days before he sells his shares, he puts up a fucking moon emoji that he's still dealing with in court. My perspective is that nothing that we have seen has been an actual failure. It's all been theater.
And there it is, the moment where the pendulum swings back.
I saw them transition from being believers that it was not going bankrupt and it was not diluting to, hey, this is all part of the plan.
It seems like there's no lengths people are not willing to go to continue to confirm their false beliefs.
I know for a fact that we were all in denial.
Holy shit, maybe some of these things that were, led on to be very bad for the company during bankruptcy or just bankruptcy as a whole might be like a good thing.
This wasn't something that we expected, the level of delusion. This wasn't something that we were prepared for. This was something else.
Bankruptcy wasn't the end of this community at all.
Before this whole bankruptcy thing, I had 10 shares. Now I have over 500.
But I remember buying thousands, like almost 10 to 20,000, between 10 and 20,000 shares at 11 cents each. And that
yeah, that's what I saw, a smiley face, not a moon, but it has like little moon pox on it. Cheers to everyone here right now. We hit about 60 people. Please hit that like button if you don't mind. I appreciate it. And if you catch me on the replay, hit that like button. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Have a great weekend.
I think is going to be one of the best financial decisions I make regarding this play.
In fact, it seemed to make them stronger.
In retrospect, the Chapter 11 was the greatest thing to ever happen to this company.
Or at least most of them.
When we filed for bankruptcy shortly after, I became very skeptical of the play. I became very skeptical of the community and what was happening.
But what I'm betting on is that this is going to moon like crazy.
That wasn't AJ's last time on the PP show. He quickly became a respected due diligence writer in the community. DD writers were like respected researchers in the community whose insights were usually posted to Twitter, to Reddit, and listened to by others in the community. There were a number of them, all convinced that the bankruptcy was just a next step in their financial liberation and keen to share their ideas.
I have never seen this amount of distillation this quickly from any conspiratorial group outside of this.
There were countless spaces for them to support and reassure each other while they dissect the news.
I've explained, the need to go into Chapter 11 bankruptcy, everything we know here.
All while they await the grand plan of Ryan Cohen to finish taking them through bankruptcy and into their payoff.
It kind of confirmed to me just how desperate a lot of them are.
Liked and subscribed? Wow, thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. Stay happy, I really do. I never thought I would get a subscriber off of this type of content. Let me know if you guys like this type of content or hate it. I might do more of it if you guys let me know if you like it.
And it makes me very sad. Admitting that they were wrong is an admission that their identity and these things they've built their identity around, maybe alienated others away from them for, is untrue. That is devastating to someone's view of themselves.
My reaction was like always, it was laughter. And it was just like shaking my head like these people will never learn.
And we got super
bankruptcy
chats.
had re-energized the community. They even attracted new investors.
My name is Shane. Right now, I'm in between jobs. I lost my job a couple months ago, and I ended up getting really depressed, and that's part of this story.
Investors who needed this to work.
I got into the subreddit, the bbby subreddit community. And then from there, I started watching the PPC show.
We're gonna be fucking rich, fellas. All right, this is a real possibility here.
I guess I started to believe a lot of the stuff that was being said. Right.
Ryan Cohen is involved in this, and to be honest.
Okay, so as an influencer watching this, I have to say something real quick, and I don't want to keep pausing it all the time. But as an influencer watching this, I want to say there's a responsibility as an influencer. So I'm literally watching this as a YouTuber that talks about AMC and GME. And I'm watching it with you guys. There's a responsibility that we need to understand that we have. And that guy's being reckless. You can't just you have to let people know about the risks as well. You can't just pump. You have to let people know, hey, this is risky. Hey, you should be diversifying. Like, that's why I came on the scene, because I seen Trey, I'm not going to say any names. I just seen people pump, and not tell anybody about the risks, not telling anybody about not over leveraging. They were like literally kind of encouraging the degeneracy of like people doing crazy bets and YOLOing, and that's all fine and dandy, but that's if you have the money to do it. Don't take out a loan. Don't leverage your mortgage. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't have only one stock like GameStop, AMC, or BBBY, whatever the case may be, your only stock. You know what I mean? And that's why I always preach that here on the channel. Like, we have a responsibility, man. Like, that guy, I don't like this PP guy, man. I never heard of it until now. I don't like this guy.
With you, I can't really see it any other way from this point forward. So
I didn't think it would be in his character not to say.
But like I said, man, the community that we built together, y'all, like that means a lot. Like, when I wrapped it up the last video, and make sure you watch part 1 if you missed part 1.
Like, hey guys, like there's all this hype building around, but I'm not involved anymore. And that was like the main thing that started, that kept me like believing that there was going to be an opportunity here.
Have you ever faced any harassment from members of the bed bath community or other adjacent communities?
Have they attacked me? Yes. Have they gone to my work? Yes. They went to my job. They saw me at my work. One guy threatened to fight me at work. Another guy videotaped.
Oh, is that where the broom picture came from Moran's? Those guys? That's crazy. That broom picture? That's funny.
Me and record me sweeping the floors and said I'm the janitor. I don't care if I am the janitor. If I were the janitor, it wouldn't matter.
Moran's
managers do sweep in his defense. Not saying I'm for or against Moran's, but managers do have to sweep.
Had a particularly strong dislike towards the bed bath community, not just because he felt like they were misguided.
They made an account of my wife, her name, her picture, and they put on there, come visit me at my house. They put up my home address. They said, I'm home alone, come visit me. They took pictures of my kids and their school names and told them to come pick up my kids at school. So they didn't open an attack on my whole family, sure.
I think a lot of the main figureheads in GameStop are like plants, but I think Marantz is genuinely just a scam artist piece of shit. PP was like one of the first people to ever get doxxed. Like, Marantz was doxing that guy before Marantz ever was doxxed. He was, posting pictures of PP working at GameStop at this location, being like, yeah, he used to work here. I don't support doxing in any nature, but they did start it.
I got emailed all of PPC's information, his home address, his name, his business, pictures, his wife's Facebook, everything. I got everything. And I told everybody I'm not going to touch it.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that.
I'm not going to make a video. I'm not going to address it. Nothing. And I didn't. So they waited about 2 weeks, the individuals who sent me the info. And then they started posting it on Reddit and Twitter, and they started blasting it everywhere.
Among many of the people I spoke to, both in and outside of these communities, a fear around being doxxed and harassed was a common thread. Many would only speak to me anonymously, and many others refused outright.
The reason why I did the interview mask is because I work for a customer-facing publicly traded company, and I believe the agents would send endless emails and phone calls to the company because I said a bad thing about them.
Then, as I was continuing to investigate the bed bath community, big news began to break. The company had released what's known as an 8K form to notify investors of some big news. On the effective date of the plan, all of these shares will be cancelled, released, and extinguished, and will be of no further force or effect pursuant to the plan.
The plan to extinguish the shares was perfectly clear, just like in any other company.
The effective date was recorded as September 30th, 2023, 16 days from the release of the 8K. Again, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, is that it? Is it over?
When I saw that, I knew on some level that they were going to find a way to justify it away.
Just wondering, maybe our shares do get wiped out, but they get replaced with an equivalent Teddy shares.
What exactly was the reaction? What reaction did you have, and what reaction did the community have around that specifically?
But the fact that they're being extinguished, the only reason you extinguish them is because you're getting new shares instead. They can't have both shares at the same time.
Which is a complete bullshit, and it doesn't make any sense.
So say you get Teddy shares or whatever it is.
It became more bullish because it felt like finally something's happening, right?
They saw this as just the next.
I don't know if they found certain people, but this is kind of wild. This is the Bed Bath & Beyond stuff. I didn't know. This is wild. Like, if I would have seen that 8K and knew that, like, I covered Bed Bath & Beyond like a little bit for technicals and stuff like that when it made little rallies and stuff like that. But yeah, if you get an 8K like that, man, you know, it's time to sell. This is wild.
Stage in the emergence
that PP guy. If that guy kept pushing this the whole time, that's bad, man.
Teddy or whatever Amazon super competitor Ryan Cohen had planned.
In my mind, like I said, I'm 99.99% sure that.
Who thinks they're gonna do an AMC video next?
Like, I'm going to make a good amount of money off of this, whether it's like 3 million or less, or 20 million or more. I don't know.
He said the plan will become effective on or about September 30th. So we're getting Teddy shares, man. Right on. All right, I gotta let my dog.
Everything that had happened up until now with Bed Bath & Beyond, Cohen's exit, the bankruptcy, and this, once more, it was all part of the plan.
And it's bewildering and interesting. It's like watching a train wreck. You can't look away. It's a beautiful disaster.
Maybe we're all going fucking nuts, or maybe not. We're either going to be in a fucking loony bin all together, a big one big fucking happy family, or we're going to be stankin' rich, man. It's one of the two, right?
It felt like I was watching people spiraling towards disaster despite their confidence. But there was just one huge question on my mind. Who really stands to gain from all of this?
Within the Bed Bath & Beyond community, do you think that there is anyone who is taking advantage of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
PP seeds.
PP seeds.
I gotta say, PP.
Without a doubt, the two names that came up the most often were PP Seeds and a man I'd never heard of before named
Bill Pulte.
Yeah, I have to agree. That guy is definitely, because he's getting ad revenue. If he's getting donations while talking just only about Bed Bath & Beyond and just like pumping it, even though, yeah, that's unless he, I mean, he could argue that he truly believed that, but you got to have some moral responsibility, dude. You can't do this, dude. You can't just come on a platform and just, I don't know, that it just rubs me the wrong way. Sorry, guys.
Bill Pulte.
Fellas, how the fuck you doing, man? It's great to see you guys, fellas.
I think PP Seeds is honestly one of the worst human beings I've ever heard of.
Some days I think he knows what he's doing, others I don't.
To the Meltdowners, he was actively platforming and pushing ideas about Bed Bath & Beyond that gave the community hope, whilst also taking donations from that very community.
Crayon Green with the 1 PP Show gifted membership. Right on, man. Appreciate your support. We also got DJ with 2 fucking PP Show gifted memberships. Right on.
I was also told that...
Yeah, this PP guy's tripping, dude.
PP Seeds,
he's a true pumper for real.
Had a history, one that he'd wiped off the internet.
PP was previously invested in things like SafeMoon.
SafeMoon is facing both civil and criminal allegations.
I think he was also involved in that Terra Luna
Mama
thing.
Duke's in the chat.
The sudden collapse of Terra sent shockwaves through the crypto industry.
So he makes really good choices with his investments, but he deletes when he's...
SafeMoon is facing both civil and criminal allegations.
I think he was also involved in that Terra Luna thing.
The sudden collapse of Terra sent shockwaves through the crypto industry.
So he makes really good choices with his investments, but he deletes when he's wrong, so you can't go back and look at those streams anymore.
He deleted all of that history, and he bans anyone who talks about it.
I think certainly there's a financial aspect for the likes of PP Seeds with his stream being monetized now and being able to take donations.
During the time that I was researching him, he also started deleting Bed Bath related content for no particular reason, including his old live streams. When asked about it, he said he was storing them on a decentralized platform, which doesn't explain why they needed to be deleted from YouTube as well.
What happens to like the community or
I will never be deleting my videos, all my live streams, never.
people like PPCs or the PP show if, for example, this does go to zero?
I think that like that's not something that'll be pretty if that happens.
The only way to know for sure was to ask him directly, and I tried, but he wasn't interested.
He was like, yeah, we want to interview, you know, PP show and everything and have you guys on, but again,
He should have did the interview. Even just to try to clear his name somewhat and tell his side of the story. He should have did the interview because that made him look bad. I never heard of this guy.
know who this guy is. I don't know what his intentions are.
Either way, I continued watching his show. It was a good resource for hearing about the community's thoughts. That was when I started hearing about an upcoming live stream of the PP show that would supposedly be very important. It would be happening in person, and more specifically, it would be happening in the offices of a man who went by the name Bill Pulte. There it was again, that name, Bill Pulte.
For you, at what point, I guess, did you start to feel like maybe this wasn't the right play, or if that was even the case?
It wasn't until I watched that episode, I call it the ice cream episode that they did with Bill Pulte. That was pretty disturbing to me.
Thousands of viewers tuned in to watch the live stream, which for a relatively niche community was pretty impressive. Evidently, this Pulte figure was important to them.
Super chats real quick. We got a $100 from OG Trilogy.
Everybody donate to PP. I don't touch a dollar of it. So
who was this guy?
It was just a beautiful disaster, and you could tell that Pulte was like annoyed half the time and confused.
fucking PP can't get the fucking video and audio to work.
They had like a person in a bear suit dancing around in the background. I had to pause the video and say, like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is absolutely crazy. Like, this is kind of fucked up.
I keep coming back to the same question. Why are we here?
You want me to make something up? I already gave you an answer. Why not?
Well, I keep asking myself, why am I here?
People are extremely happy to the point where they're crying. Like Michael was crying in Bill Pulte's office as Bill ate ice cream.
And so I've kind of looked around to see where are the builders. And, two kind of stand out, and one is you, and one is Ryan Cohen. And
the third one is PP.
Which is just a completely surreal thing to watch as someone who knows these people for months.
Just donate a lot of money to him right now, and anybody who donates $500, I'll guarantee that you can meet me.
This is horrible. Is this real? Is this real? Yo, I shouldn't have watched this documentary. Oh no, I shouldn't have watched this. This is gonna put me on my villain arc.
Was pushing for donations from the viewers.
When are we going to do another show with Bill? I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, well, did we get any more hits on the 500?
First for 10 donations of $500, then 20, then...
Let's go to 50.
No,
50?
These are scumbags. These are scumbags, dude. These make me feel sick to even be, like, classed as a YouTuber to see... Yo.
Holy shit.
But the money wasn't going to him. It was going to PPC.
Look at the guy's face, bro. He's like, yo.
$500. Every $500 will go to this man.
Yo, Whimsy, are you still watching? Why didn't you warn me about this, Whimsy? This is crazy. Whimsy.
He works his ass off. 10 more people, you can meet me if you pay $500. We'll also pick people who just...
Oh my God,
I didn't understand. Investors, some of whom had already put their life savings into Bed Bath & Beyond, were paying $500 for the chance to meet this guy.
Oh my God, dude. This guy is a freaking scumbag, bro.
$500 in the next 10 minutes, you can...
What a scumbag, bro. What a scumbag, bro.
For sure be eligible, but we'll cut it off after that.
I personally have spoke to people where they donated $500 to meet Bill,
and I bet you he doesn't even meet him. This is making me sick.
PP, and that was quite a big proportion of their net worth.
Well, we like to call ourselves degenerates.
I'm the biggest degenerate you'd ever met.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. You're probably broke too. That's why you're doing this. You're probably literally broke. All of these guys are probably literally broke. I don't know. Well, this guy and this guy probably literally broke because that's why they're doing. Look at these scumbags, bro. This took a wild twist. I did not expect this, guys. I did not expect this video to turn into this. This is crazy.
At the urging of Bill Polte, viewers of the show donated over $25,000 that night to PP Seeds.
Did I just hear that?
I'm the biggest degenerate you'd ever met.
At the urging of Bill Polte, viewers of the show donated over $25,000 that night to PP Seeds.
Oh my god.
So I wanted to find out more.
Oh my
Polte
god.
is an internet celebrity. He had millions of followers on X, formerly known as Twitter, mostly as a result of regularly giving away money. $100 here, $1,000 there, just as long as they've liked or replied to one of his posts. But when it comes to the bed bath community, his involvement began here, when he responded to a Cohen tweet mocking consultancy firms, and surprisingly enough, Cohen replied back.
The community has trained itself to believe that little tiny things like that are secret communications.
And his Twitter interactions with Cohen became more regular.
He would tweet Ryan, Ryan would tweet to him.
So when the bed bath community found him, he was elevated to new heights.
And from the perspective of the community, everything that Ryan Cohen does online has a meaning. So what is Ryan trying to tell us about Bill Polte? Should we be paying attention to Bill Polte? And it eventually developed to the point where Bill Polte says what Ryan Cohen can.
And then people started tweeting at Polte, and Polte noticed and then agreed to come on the PP show.
All right, chat, please give a warm welcome to Polte, man.
In his first appearance, he said that he wasn't invested in BBBY.
And you're not under any kind of NDA or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
All right, right on.
People believe that Bill Polte was like the mouthpiece, he was the inside man.
What are your thoughts on Teddy, and what do you think RC is trying to do with it?
It's an excellent question.
He's up to something. There's something that caused him to behave the way that he's behaved with the situation, and you know, they're not going to put that in an SEC filing.
Why would he come into Bed Bath & Beyond, you know, for a short period of time, buy a stake in it, and then immediately proceed to sell?
Well, I think that he probably is very interested in the situation, obviously, because he took a position, and I think he's still interested based on that's just my own opinion.
Sure.
But I still didn't understand why Polte would even care about this, right? Like, he wasn't invested in this company. Why engage with the community?
I think Bill Polte has a hidden agenda behind his actions.
Meltdowners pointed out a pattern.
I know I have a lot of people who follow me who are shareholders of.
The one thing I don't like is this gave like the Meltdowners, they were attacking GME, and I don't know if they probably attack AMC as well. I know they attack Apes, but this gave them like legs to stand on, because this stuff in particular is crazy. But this documentary kind of shifted from talking about BBBY and like the ape movement into like just focusing on this particular aspect, which is truly disturbing.
Polte Group. In 2016, you know, I had to turn around my family's company. In my family situation,
Polte Group's a great company.
I was on the board of this
Make
company.
sure you guys follow my channel, man, because we will not be going down crazy rabbit holes like this. Unless it's just to watch.
The Polte, usually in posts or tweets or live streams, referenced corruption in his grandfather's company, Polte Homes.
You guys hit that like button to help, help the algorithm out.
Together is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to my family name. It's a disgrace to everything my grandfather worked hard for.
So you start digging a little bit more into it. You realize that after his grandfather passed away, Bill Polte was unanimously kicked off the board of directors of Polte Homes. In the years since, he has waged a public war on the company's leadership. On Twitter, he's accused their current CEO of everything from fraud to bullying to sexism. He sued the company's former COO, Brandon Jones, for defamation, successfully. The Bed Bath community felt allied to Polte, and perhaps more importantly, that he had inside information related to what's really going on behind the scenes because of his interactions with Ryan Cohen.
I bet Ryan Cohen's watching this right now. I don't know that, but
I'm sure he is, man. I'm sure he is.
He sees a community who is obsessed with Ryan Cohen, so he's worked his way into that community.
I just like the stock. I like Ryan Cohen. I like helping people.
When Polte...
that guy is a definition of a grifter shill, for real. I like helping people. I like Ryan Cohen. Shut up, bro.
Invited the PP Show crowd to stream from his office. The excitement was palpable.
People speculated that Bill Polte would have an...
He's just saying like the most basic things, like Ryan Cohen, BBBY, I want to help.
Announcement for the stream, and he responded by using the emoji with 2 eyes. That made everyone believe that something was coming.
By this point, it had already been announced that the shares would be extinguished. The community were eager for good news, but on the day, things were different.
I'm like, damn, this is like a fucking bust. Like, we were expecting like a show to talk about like Bed Bath, and Bill didn't even like talk about it.
In the time since that live stream, Polte became a fixture of the community, and Polte Homes had become a secondary target of their attention.
The Bed Bath & Beyond community has started to now pump out the Pulte home buy-in.
In particular, Kais had become a very vocal supporter, even revealing plans to go to Polte Group headquarters to protest the appointment of CEO Ryan Marshall. Following the live stream, Polte and PP Seeds decided to work with Kais to sell even more tickets at $500 a piece for a meet and greet with them. Meltdowners estimated that PP Seeds took in more than $100,000. The immediate reaction was mixed. While many bought tickets, others, in a time of stress, felt let down.
When the PP Show with Bill had aired, I went into a real dark place for a few days. I didn't want to hold Bed Bath & Beyond.
I don't understand, like, I've gotten messages from some of you guys about like money that you lost, and I don't understand how somebody could get a message like that, because I know an influencer that he has what? I looked at it right here. He has 11,000. So I know he's been messaged before and heard stories, and he knows BBY, of course, and then take advantage of people like that. You should truly be trying to educate and help anybody who's lost money on these stocks, bro. This is crazy. This guy is a scumbag, bro, for real.
But I felt like I had no other choice.
I started to just see that like these people are very like disingenuous.
On the Friday the 29th, the stock was extinguished, and that meant that the bankruptcy had run its course and we were left with nothing.
Do you have an idea of like what that actually means for people that hold shares in that company?
Poof. They're gone. They no longer exist.
People started having their shares disappear.
What was your reaction to seeing that?
It was a gut punch.
Even though there were explanations for why this should have been okay, I noticed that some still took it hard.
I didn't believe that the shares would be
He is my biggest fan.
At that moment,
he is my biggest fan, and I literally have people message me every day telling me how much I helped them and helped them make money and change their lives. Literally have people message me telling me how I changed their lives for the better. He's my biggest fan, though. We all know that.
I felt depressed. I felt really low.
But it was okay, right? Like this is all part of the plan.
You have to understand that despite the fact that they canceled our shares, we never really felt like that, oh, woe is me, or this is over kind of moment.
And it's still depressing and fascinating to watch them. It's so strange.
Okay, so the only person that likes watching like something depressing and then calling it fascinating is somebody who's truly miserable. So she's miserable, and you already know the saying, misery likes company. I dislike this lady a lot. She attacks GameStop. I'm sure she attacks AMC. BBY, though, is wild when it came to the end of this. It did have some good gains, but man, this was they really made that crazy pivot when they pointed out this PP guy, because he is a scumbag. 200 push-ups every day, bro. I've been working on
held on.
trying to do the push-ups.
It was
if you can tell.
I didn't think that would happen.
I've been working on it.
There was kind of like a level of grief that was associated with it, and then with grief comes like, you know, the anger
on it, man.
Anger at myself
trying.
of how could I like even believe this. It's like a depression.
It felt like things had reached a fever pitch. The Meltdown community, the GameStop community, all of them were looking at Bed Bath and wondering, when will this finally end?
They believe that it's part of the plan. People believe that the wiping out of the value of our stocks and the removal of us as retail investors is actually part of the plan.
For some investors like Hodgins, this was the final straw.
For my mental health, I felt like I had to hold through to completion. I felt like I had to hit rock bottom to be able to process this and get out of my system and move on from meme stocks. I just feel like we're getting to a point where there could be suicides associated with this.
With the shares now extinguished,
I would never want to
there
see
was
that.
one final event that I was keeping my eyes out for.
That show was a quote-unquote clusterfuck.
It was a visual representation of the community that they have.
They got off.
Is that PP in a helicopter? Yo, this can't be real. Yo, this can't be real, bro.
The helicopter with like armed security wearing bulletproof vests.
Fellas, how the fuck you doing tonight? GME meltdown assholes, man, must be
This guy. Oh, man.
melting down. I mean, shills are in absolute fucking shambles, man. Look at the fucking turnout, man.
The cringe, the embarrassment, the delusion
Bro,
was
you talking
beyond
like you know
anything
me.
I
just
could have
a secret fast
imagined.
mentality.
You guys are amazing people, and it's just I feel so
I can
honored to
never
be part
gain
of this
weight, bro.
community and be able
Only
to
if it's muscle.
interact with you guys as we build something that's
can't.
never happened before. Okay.
They didn't even have the audience mic'd up, so it's actually kind of funny how awkward some of the bits are where there's pausing for
hoping he gets
applause that you
arrested.
can't hear.
You guys think Ryan Cohen's watching tonight?
Yeah.
Everybody look back at the camera and say hi to Ryan Cohen. Let's go. Hey, Ryan. Let's get a Ryan. Fuck
What is this?
Ryan.
It was people screaming that they know the truth, screaming Ryan Cohen's name hundreds of times.
I couldn't help but wonder what Ryan Cohen would be thinking if he really did know about this community and just how much of it centered around him.
I would like to give a toast
Nah,
to the
these guys are grifting off Ryan Cohen, bro. Ryan Cohen should say something about PP, bro, because they're definitely grifting off him. This PP thing is crazy, bro.
most fucking greatest community ever. For alone, we are weak, but together we can.
But screw it, man. If these guys want to be a part of something, it's whatever. But this is like fringe out there, bro. I don't think anyone watching my channel is like this. I don't think there's one. I mean, I guess I can't say that. I never know. If you are, holla at me, because I want to talk to you, bro. I just want to talk to you. Like love, man. I just want to talk to you. Because the stock market's a zero-sum game. It's not pretty. It will eat you alive if it let it. And it's all how you play it.
Change the world.
Like literally, like fellas, Bill Pulte fucking supports the Bed Bath community more than anyone, and Ryan Cohen's interacting with the guy more than anyone. Put two and two together, man.
Again, it feels like an avenue for Pulte to put on an event where he feels important, where he is talking to people and people listen.
We're gonna look back in 10 years. Everybody in this room is gonna look back and can't believe that they were here 10 years ago. Mark my words. Mark my words.
Then, something interesting happened.
Guys, I have an announcement. We are in a family that I see it's very, very good family. It's a great family. It's the Pulte family.
Kais begins talking about Polte, or more specifically,
how many of you own PHM, Pulte Group stock?
Polte's grandfather's company, Polte Homes. See, Meltdowners and critics already suspected that Polte Homes would be brought up at this event, but I didn't think it would be coming from Kais.
I'm gonna buy from my own money for every single one who came here.
These guys gotta go to jail.
1 share
No,
of
you have to
Pulte
go to
Group
jail. Straight to jail.
PHM.
Kais got up on stage.
You have to
and was like, I have my own money here, and I will give you all $100 to invest in Pulte Home Group.
But
this guy's gotta go to jail now.
Is one condition: you buy the share, and you're not supposed to sell it. We want you to keep the share, so you're gonna be a shareholder for a long time.
This guy's like laughing in the background. He can't even like keep a straight face because he knows how insane this actually is. Yo, this has to be illegal, right? Somebody tell me this guy went to jail, like foreshadowing.
I don't know the legality of that, but that was
he has
out
to go.
there.
But I will fight for the Pulte Group, for the family,
Tell me
for
he went
that
to jail.
company that was.
Aside from the handout of Pulte Homes shares, there didn't seem to be any more notable announcements. In fact, it seemed like Pulte was encouraging the group to take legal action in order to sort out their situation.
I think, you know,
I have been to New York before.
legal's the only way to go at this point. Time has run out.
It's been a while,
You
but
guys
I've been
need to
there.
get going on this legally.
Which was a stark difference to the community's attitude prior to this event, where everything was going according to plan, that a merger was on the way. The event was filled with
Chris with the 5 gifted though? Unbelievable, bro. You're wild, dude. Okay, you guys, I got a new sub and Chris with the 5 gifted. Let me know if you guys hate this content, love this content. I want to do more like this on the weekends. Thank you, Chris. I can't thank you enough, bro. Damn.
all the platitudes and encouragements to continue their cause.
There's one thing that holds us strong, and that
Even
is
Moas. If you just got a gifted, thank Chris, please.
conviction.
But at this point, it felt hard to see what that cause even was anymore. And then it was over.
There you fucking have it, man. The PP show. Thank you to everybody who came out here, man. Show your support, and we love you here at the PP show. So thank you, fellas.
Bro did 5 gifted though.
In the months following the bankruptcy, Bed Bath & Beyond's IP and assets were divided up and sold to different buyers. The company's shares no longer exist and have been removed from most investors' trading accounts. But the community still persists.
Our shares are extinguished, and we don't have a timeline as to when we can expect any kind of resolution or indication as to what outcome we're getting.
What is the harm, if any, in people choosing to invest in Bed Bath & Beyond or joining these communities? Isn't it just their choice to do what they want with their money?
Of course it's their choice.
So I think the potential harm here lies not only in them financially harming themselves, and by doing so harming people around them, spouses, children.
It had a huge impact on our relationship. It's not just being upset about or having theories about what's happening in the world. It's actually putting your money behind that theory, and then effectively, in the case of Bed Bath &
That's putting your money where your mouth is. That's actually good. And I can't thank you guys enough, man. Thank you again.
Beyond, losing it all.
We already saw a couple of posts of people getting divorced, their wife leaving them.
He was going deeper into credit card debt.
When some people start drowning, they'll reach out to people around them and pull them down with them.
He said, this is the time you should think about investing in this.
Okay, so that's when it turns into gambling, and you guys shouldn't. Yeah, I'm definitely against that. That's when it turns into gambling, but you also can make bank, bro. But this is crazy. Her blaming her relationship failing on GameStop and Bed Bath & Beyond is wild.
If it goes down,
I'm sure it has nothing to do with anything else, right?
And you invest, I will make you whole.
Channel if you're new.
I don't have my credit cards, so I've been rotating them out. I'm down to my last one, so this shit has got to happen this month, dude.
And it was really unsettling. I thought, this is not normal behavior. Why is he now trying to get me to put my money in? so much of his money enough.
People are losing their lives because of this shit.
I remember stumbling across a user who called themselves...
Dude, we have now 10 new members, y'all. You guys are insane. Steven! With 10 or the 5 gifted, that's putting us at 10 members. You guys, I never expected this on this. Never.
Ryan Colon, who
Never
tweeted about
expected
not
it,
being able
man.
to
Thank
afford
you.
to care for his
Sorry, I'm
newborn
hyped.
child
I'm
and
sorry. I'm
family.
gonna calm back
He
down.
set up a fundraiser that was
Calm back down.
shared
If you
throughout
got a-
the
if you got a
community
gifted,
to help
man,
him
please
get by.
thank
It was
Steven
shared and
and,
even
Chris.
promoted on the PP show in an episode that has since been
gonna put us at
deleted.
10
I did, however,
random
manage to
members.
find
Wow.
an earlier video before the birth of his child where Ryan Colon appeared on the show himself.
If it hasn't been this show, I probably would have just gave up on the stock long ago, to be honest. So you've definitely kept me convicted. I annoy my partner constantly with it, but I got to invest.
Okay, so him hearing stuff like that, he should feel horrible. You can see it in his eyes. He's like, damn. This guy, yo, I hope he goes to jail.
But holding to
Allegedly,
triple
or-
digits at least.
This kind of thing is so common that another user who calls themselves Famous Variety has even started a regular emergency fund to support some of the community who have fallen on hard times. The expenses include groceries, power, and emergency blankets. Kais Malej posted a fundraiser for his son's college tuition, saying that if he wasn't able to gather $9,043 by September the 5th, 2023, he wouldn't be able to attend. As of today, the fundraiser total stands at $543.
They're not only hurting themselves, they're hurting the people around them that they supposedly care about.
To be brutally honest with you, they're not fully wrong. It put a lot of strain on my marriage. Not in a negative, super negative way. Just it sucks, you know, telling your partner about your investment and how it's going.
My parents know they've bought like 500 shares, which is like not much, and they think my mom thinks I'm crazy. She just wants to triple her money and leave.
So the thing is, if you just follow like basic rules like 50-50 diversification, if he would have bought Bed Bath & Beyond and then bought another stock, one of those stocks would have probably went up. So telling your family to invest isn't wrong, but it's the way you do it. It's all about how you play it. The stock market, you can make a lot of money, but you have to tell people how to do it responsibly. You have to tell them the right way. You want to diversify. You never just want to go into one stock. You don't want to, especially when you're new, you don't want to YOLO in. You don't want to be making emotional decisions. Somebody said realist, Chris, I think it was, said realist channel out here, and that's why we watch stuff like this. We keep it 100. We watch both sides of things. And I'm watching this as a influencer, from a point of view, from an influencer with all of you. And like I said earlier, we have a responsibility, man. We have a responsibility to help try to educate and again, just be responsible with what we say out here.
I'm like, you're gonna 100x your money.
You know, I invested my life savings in this because I got excited because I saw how other people were excited, but it's not because
Sandy
I was like,
in the
hey, he
building.
invested, I'm gonna invest too.
I've leaned on my credit card a little heavier, but you know, I have a really good job.
The people I spoke
Andrew,
to,
that was
despite
funny.
everything, were kind with their time and generous to me. And as I got to know them better, I became genuinely concerned about their investment.
My wife would fucking kill me if she knew I wasn't like working, you know, because like I pretend basically to work.
Okay, so that's a problem, dude. You shouldn't be lying to your wife, telling her that you have a job and you don't. Yeah, see, this is why relationships fail.
Work when I'm really just like I do a few appointments here and there, and then I kind of just like jump on space calls and talk and like do research and all that shit.
I'd say I put probably $2,500, which is not that much, right? But like for someone like me, it's not.
No, $2,500 for that, even an average person. It's just an average person. That's a decent chunk.
Something I could really lose.
It's a decent chunk.
At the time of this recording, more than 2 years have passed since Ryan Cohen initially bought his stake in Bed Bath & Beyond.
Genuinely, I felt bad for them at the beginning. But after a 2-year mark, 3-year mark, you can feel bad.
But this story only truly began in 2021 with the GameStop mania, where some believe it was an opportunity to get rich and take down Wall Street corruption, that they were bringing down the people who had rigged the game. But I started to wonder, had that ever been true?
The way to change things is going out on the streets and protesting, or from inside of the institution.
This guy's a clown for saying that. No, the way to change things is to hurt them in their pockets. This guy is a definition of a shill. It's not going out and protesting. That does nothing to them. The people that are really in power behind the scenes, the way to actually hurt them is their wallets. Do not listen to this clown, bro. It is to act. It's. I don't want to say it like that, but it's financial warfare, because that's what's against us all the time. Because the game is so stacked against us and so rigged against us. It's financial warfare, and the way to actually make a difference is to hurt financially.
In question, but the only inside of the institution that they're going to see is a mental one.
This guy's a clown,
Boom,
bro.
headshot.
Oh, hold on. He just thought he cooked. Oh, he's taking his mask off. He's taking his mask off.
After so many setbacks,
Oh, he thought he cooked with that?
The way to change things is going out.
You
on
thought you cooked with
GameStop
that, you
mania,
clown, bro?
Where some believe it was an opportunity to get rich and
That
take
was
down
lame,
Wall Street
dog.
corruption. That they were bringing down the people who had rigged the game. But I started to wonder,
Bro
had that
snapped
ever
at the
been
end like a
true?
zesty mofo.
The way to change things is going out on the streets and protesting, or from inside of the institution in
this
question.
guy?
But the only inside of the institution that they're going to see is a mental one. Boom, headshot.
After so many setbacks, they still hadn't given
You
up.
are a
It's hard
class
to give
A
up when
clown,
you're
my
in so
dude.
deep. I'm not the kind of person who accepts a loss.
Oh
By
my
the time
god,
you post
bro
this,
snapped like
it's
a
gonna be
zesty
like,
girl, bro.
Here's an interview of Michael before he is a millionaire and after he's a millionaire.
I genuinely think that I could make 50 to 60 million. I'd be fucking livid if I only got paid 3 million at the end of this, which is absurd to say.
Even today, when I don't have my shares in my portfolio, I don't feel defeated. In fact, I feel on the verge of victory.
But I couldn't help but think about those who could be hurt from this, or those who had already been hurt.
I started putting more money into it and more money into it.
Hopefully Andrew Left gets arrested.
Show.
Did you sell your fucking car and buy those shares yet, man? Let's hear it.
The fucking car is done, man.
No.
Holy shit.
And this guy's encouraging shit like that? This guy's a clown. Yo, this guy needs to go to jail. He literally is encouraging his viewers to sell their car to buy shares of a stock. That's completely over leveraging yourself. That's the most degenerate, unresponsible. Yo, this guy should go to jail, bro. For real. You're telling people to sell their whips to buy stock, bro? That means you're over leveraged, dog. If you don't have extra money to invest, you can't. You have to have money in your savings to even start investing in stocks. That way, if something happens, you can use your savings account. Yeah, this is crazy.
Maybe somewhere
That
in
guy
this
needs
was
to go
a
to
lesson
jail,
to
bro.
learn from.
I don't think GameStop will ever be like Bed Bath & Beyond. I think Bed Bath & Beyond ran its course.
Or maybe not.
After all the time I've watched this,
GameStop just ran 600%.
I think I'd have a really good answer for you to say what's going to happen next. And I wish I did. I don't.
You see me and you go, this guy's crazy. You know, this guy's a lunatic. He really thinks that his shares are coming back to his his Fidelity account, but I do. I can't help it. I think that we're on the verge of something great.
When people watch documentaries like this or hear people talk about conspiracy theories, often there's a part of their brain that goes, I would never fall for that. Everyone of any background, any educational level, intelligence level, you are susceptible to this. So if anyone learns any lesson from this, I want it to be never assume it can't be you.
And as I watch these people spending months or even years of their lives looking for a sign, I came back to that question. Does he know what he started?
What about your views on Ryan Cohen?
I think that he pumped and dumped.
That's
Bed Bath &
ridiculous.
Beyond.
And if he did, does he owe it to them to say something definite, one way or the other?
I mean, we just believe in Ryan Cohen.
You can't say Ryan Cohen is the core centerpiece of all of this movement. You can't blame it all on him. Maybe a large part, obviously, because a lot of these people idolize him, but I always tell you guys, do not idolize people and do not idolize one person as a savior, especially in the stock market.
There's evidence that he's going to come save us.
Of the thousands of people
Yeah,
who've
no.
put
See
their
how he
life...
said, come save us? No, listen. Nobody's coming to save you. You got to go out and get that information. And I try, again, I'm just a human being. I make mistakes, but you got to get that information. I'm trying to give the best information that I know. The most responsible information that I know. You got to get other points of views. Don't idolize people. Nobody's coming to save you in the stock market.
Life savings into a religion for which he has unknowingly become the messiah.
I think it was a shitty move to not at least tell investors.
Bro
like,
said
hey,
I'm
I have
over
nothing to do with
leveraged
this
right
anymore.
now.
Most of the people I spoke to were genuinely hopeful that this could be their chance to be
And now he's going to say, please don't tell me he did something.
End it all.
No.
No,
don't
I'm
do
kidding.
that, bro.
Jesus,
This is horrible.
No, I'm talking with you.
And then you got the PP guy promoting this. This is crazy. I actually wish I didn't watch this.
Right.
So, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. BBBY is wild, y'all. But I made my channel because of some of this stuff going on about people getting over leveraged, but I didn't know BBBY got this crazy. This was wild. The PP guy is out of control. He needs to go to jail immediately. Make sure you guys check out the weekly outlook and prediction. I'm going to be dropping that tomorrow. We got some good technicals to talk about on SPY, GameStop, Bitcoin. Bitcoin looking really, 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 really good. You already know how I love my BTC. Thank you guys for watching, man. I really appreciate it. That was the video. This is part 2 of like basically a 2-part doc. Here's the first one. I watched both of them and gave my reactions. So you guys can check that out. The first one I watched earlier today. If you missed that, man, you can go ahead and check that out. I really appreciate you guys for popping in. Also, I want to let you guys know for Monday, I got brand new music. A bunch of them. I got over 50 new songs. So we got brand new music, 50 new bangers, bro. We got a bunch of bangers. But here's the first one. Already 500 views. Oh, dope. Hopefully this one gets like 500 views. But you can watch those too. I appreciate it. Yeah, but we got some bangers coming up with the music. This is the channel. Shout out homie for making the James for making the videos. He didn't copyright me or nothing, so that's cool. I appreciate that. All right, Chris, you are wild, man. If you're new, pay attention. Make your own decisions. You can save yourself. Don't depend on anyone. Facts, bro. Literally. Ryan Cohen's not going to save us. Roaring Kitty's not going to save us. They might help sometimes and stuff like that, but nobody's going to come save you in the stock market. And that's something I would tell these people immediately. So yeah, I feel like people that watch my channel, they're more realistic about things and realist. That's why I say focus on the facts and the data. You know, obviously I believe there's naked shares and stuff like that, but you got to look at what you can see, what you can prove. You know what I mean? You got to work with what you can prove. I cannot believe you guys did super chats today and 10 new members, which is freaking insane. I cannot thank you enough for that. Hit that like button and subscribe if you don't mind. Help support the channel, help the algo boost. But I did not think we would be getting super chats on this type of content. Let me know if you guys hated it or love it. Let me know in the comments down below. I truly appreciate you watching. This is going to be the live stream for tonight. I will be doing a video tomorrow, and then I'll be streaming. I'm going to try to stream all day on Monday. So no promises, but it's probably going to be a decent live stream. I'm definitely streaming Monday for sure. But I don't know about all day, but it's going to be a decent length, and it's going to be popping brand new music. So make sure you tune in. We got a new setup coming up soon. We got new equipment coming up. I got some stuff over there already here. I'm waiting for everything to come in so I can set it all up at once. Thank you, Chris. I truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. Entertainment purposes only. You already know, man. You already know. 50 in the building right now. Had a peak of, 68. I appreciate y'all, man. And then 10 new members is crazy, plus the supers. Thank you, guys. You already know what the deal is. As always, y'all, have fun. Stay safe. Make money. Peace out. Cheers, family. Make sure you check out the other one if you missed it. We got that one, and we got this one. DataZero Reacts. DataZero Reacts. Yeah, let me know if you guys like this type of content, where we can just watch stuff, chill. And then also let me know if you guys like the type where I do the walk and talks. I want to do more walk and talks like this. I want to do more videos like I did today. And I want to do more videos like this one where I went out to like the AMC and stuff like that. And you guys seem to respond really well to that. 1.7 here, 1.6 here. So I appreciate y'all for real. Peace, y'all. You already know, man. Stay safe and make that money. Trade Spy, Bitcoin, Diversify, GameStop, AMC. You already know how we do. And as far as my thoughts on the overall documentary, the BBBY stuff went deep. GameStop, there was stuff I was pointing out about like recent corruption and stuff he didn't mention and stuff like that, recent discoveries. But this BBBY stuff went deep. And that PP guy, man, that PP guy is a scumbag, bro. As you guys already heard on that, as what I was talking about, man. That what was it? PP show or whatever it was called. Man, that guy was a scumbag, bro. And he's still active, bro. Like, streamed 22 hours ago, 5.6K views. Like, this is crazy. Hopefully he sees the clip, man. He probably won't reach out. All right, y'all. Let me stop. Let me stop starting drama and stuff. God bless us all, man. God bless the fam. Make sure you get yourself some BTC Ethereum, not financial advice. I actually just recently bought some more Ethereum. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. I'm just talking now. Thanks again, Chris. Let me shout out everybody who did the donos because you guys went crazy. So, Eddie, Fisher, Ruben, Yomar, Chris, Steven, and Chris, man. I appreciate y'all too much, man. All right, y'all. Peace.